Mr. Hyde.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Martin Hyde. To Mr. Barfield's comment in today's Herald Tribune, an incident is reported from November the 18th of last year that I've known about for some time. They describe an event outside of Sarasota Police Headquarters where our Chief of Police was gathered with many of her subordinates listening to a musical performance in honor of their service during the pandemic. An individual has been before this board on many occasions complaining of his treatment at the hands of SPD, was also there and made some loud negative remarks about the department, which the chief apparently took exception to. Her response was not, though, to send an officer to ask the man to keep the peace, but to ask her group of subordinates, and I quote, "Anyone have a taser they can give me so I can get rid of him?" This is a chief who wrote an editorial just last summer in the wake of another excessive force video in the Sarasota Herald Tribune involving SPD, detailing how conscious she was of excessive force. How would it look to a civil rights attorney if anything was now to ever happen to this man at the hands of an SPD officer? Wouldn't it be suggestible that it was premeditated and somewhat sanctioned by the chief herself? How can she discipline her officers going forward on excessive force when she makes jokes about its use? Can anyone say they take a subject seriously when they make such casual and flippant comments? Is this how our chief really feels? Is this a dog whistle to beatdowns on the homeless and indigent in our community? If words matter, and I know better than most that they do, then surely our chief must, at a minimum, be held to the same standard as one of her officers and arguably to a higher one. There has been no disciplinary sanction to date, nor any meaningful consideration that I can find to terminating her. But frankly, I think this rises to that question because it goes to basic judgment. If another officer had done this, I feel sure they'd be on administrative leave right now, pending a full inquiry, as it does place the department in both disrepute publicly, not to mention legal jeopardy, if anything was to happen to this man. Perhaps another option for awareness would be to undertake the training that many suggest on tasers, which is to take a shot from a taser herself, lest she continues to think hitting someone with 50,000 volts for exercising their First Amendment right is a good idea. Equal justice under the law is an American staple, and it's time to ask whether we can get that under the questionable leadership of our current chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hyde. Ms.